most agents, I love you guys, but you suck at marketing. And so I think this will be relevant for the brand new agent, the very high producing agent, the team leader, agent on the team. We're going to cover most things marketing and real estate and go super in depth on what is really, really working in today's space. All right, what's up, guys? We are back for another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate, and today we're going to do things a little differently. We're just going to dive right in and give value on something I think is really, really relevant that we've experienced in our business, but I think a lot of agents struggle with. So I think it's a really good topic. We're going to talk about marketing mastery. We're going to talk about some things that we've learned that have worked really, really well, and Jenna's got some numbers I'm sure she can share. By the way, Jenna's here. Hi, Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
Jenna is the marketing director for our real estate team, and she's been in a lot of these events and really dove into our marketing department. So I wanted you guys to hear it from two different perspectives of what's really working for our business, and honestly what I'm stealing from Jenna's brain and giving to some of my coaching clients that's working really, really well, and how that's coincided with our 3 recruiting funnels and just a lot of things that we have going on that we have learned in the marketing space. One of the things I learned really early on in this business is that most agents, I love you guys, but you suck at marketing. And so I think this will be relevant for the brand new agent, the very high producing agent, the team leader, agent on the team. We're going to cover most things marketing and real estate and go super in depth on what is really, really working in today's space. So without further ado, Jenna, take it away.
Yeah. I think I'll start with one of the things that I think I see the most as a mistake that people make when it comes to marketing is just overthinking it. One of the things I'll get asked, and I'm sure you get asked too, is what the heck do I post? What do I do? What do I email? What do I do as ads and all that stuff? And usually if somebody asks me that or asks you that, my first response is usually, if you're asking this question, then you're already overthinking it because there's so much content out there. And I think the more that you can start having the eyes for that content, start seeing it, the easier it becomes, the less processed your marketing becomes, and the more human it becomes.
Yeah, it reminds me of I love quotes, right? But the best ad doesn't look or feel like an ad, right? And so if you take that concept and you understand that super in depth, I think a lot of people are like, hey, what's your perfect content calendar? And no disrespect to anyone that does this, but if you're one of those online gurus that sells their social media content calendar, you're just in it to make money, because it doesn't impact the agent's business. It doesn't impact their audience. It's just filler.
Yeah.
And I think we found ourselves in that rut for a while, right?
Yeah.
Like we would create our content in advance. And there are certain things you need to have processes for. Like when you get a new listing, post the damn new listing. When you do a price reduction, post the price reduction, right? Like those basics, which I think we'll probably cover. But I think to Jenna's point of stop overthinking it, is the best marketing is living in the moment, right? And what is relevant today in my business that someone else can learn from, that someone else would find value on, that I could share that education that I just learned with someone else. And I think stop overthinking it, stop relying on AI to generate everything for you. Be real, be authentic, be you, be genuine, and provide value. And if you just really focus on those things, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and just to be honest, I'm definitely a person. I love organization. I love processes. I love systems.
God bless you, but you drive me nuts.
I love it. And so that content calendar, it was glued to me for a long time because I thrive in structure. But what I realized is that you can't.
You have to feel sorry for Jenna, guys, if you're listening. She works with me very closely, and she thrives in structure.
Yeah.
Poor Jenna.
Yes, it's chaos, but I love it. And for me, what that content calendar ended up doing is it put our marketing into a box, and you really can't predict some things with real estate in your community. One thing, to be transparent, we had just yesterday a couple nights ago, a really massive storm come in and rip apart some businesses and some homes, do some damage.
It's terrible.
You can't predict that, and you can't predict and plan that in your marketing. And if your content calendar is so rigid that you can't be flexible for your community and for what the community's needs are, for what your agents' needs are, for what your audience's needs are, then you're not going to be relevant in your marketing at all.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to a principle in marketing that is really, really relatable to everyone. And it's called message to market match. Does your message match what your market is thriving for? Can you enter the conversation that's going on in your ideal customer's head? And you can't do that a week in advance. You can't even do that a day in advance. Sometimes you can't do that an hour in advance. It's got to be in the moment. Like literally. So I'll do this for both my personal brand, my coaching stuff, but also for our real estate business. I will literally stop in the middle of the hallway and people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Give me 5." And I will just stop and I will brain dump whatever that thing is and I will post it right then and then run away.
Yeah.
And it's because it's in the moment. I'm like, oh, that really stood out to me. Or I had a conversation with Jenna and Jenna had a really light bulb moment. I'm like, oh, there's other Jennas. I need to share this with more people. And I think if we just realize that we have so much marketing content available to us each and every day, if we just slow down and we realize and observe our surroundings and we see what is impactful to us. Let me use a real life example. If I'm an agent and I have a conversation with a seller, and I have a conversation with the seller that I overcome an objection, or I give them some education that really speaks to them, and I have a great conversation that sets an appointment, or whatever that may be in my day-to-day business, just slow down, stop, and record a video and tell that story. That content will relate to so many other homeowners and sellers that will outperform the best graphic you could create. It will outperform the best AI generated thing because it's real, it's authentic, it's genuine. And I promise you, if that person had an aha for it, there are more people that are in a similar situation with that person that will relate to that story if you're able to tell that story in your marketing.
Absolutely. People are craving for authenticity.
Yeah.
I just think, like, how many times, if I were to ask like everyone listening, raise your hand if you see an election ad, doesn't matter what side you're on, and it pops up on your screen or your TV and you're immediately like, bullshit. Like, that's the first thing you say is, this is bullshit.
Well, that's just politics in general.
It is. And so, but people are tired of that. People are tired of seeing bullshit in their news feeds, in their lives. They're craving for that authenticity, for someone who has some scruffs, who's willing to get vulnerable. Like,
ooh, that's a big one.
There's no perfect business out there. And I think what makes people relate to businesses and build that connection and that trust ultimately is when you're able to build, take down those perfectly constructed walls and get a little vulnerable with your audience and be real with them.
And I think coming from Jenna, that's huge, right? It's no wonder we've had so much progress in our marketing, because to have that breakthrough yourself with you being the structured person that you are is huge. And so there's a couple things that you shared: vulnerability. Be honest, be real, be raw, be authentic with your audience, right? Step number 1. Authenticity. Be you. Be unapologetically you. People will get to know you anyway.
Yeah.
And you want people to know and like you for the real you. So don't fake it. The fake it till you make it thing, it just doesn't work in anything in life.
Yeah.
I say face it till you make it, and tell them, you know what? I am a new agent. This is my first contract. But guess what? I've got a great team. I've got a great coach. I've got this. And because it's my first contract, I'm going to work even harder for you. Right? Like, then they'll have empathy for you. It's just too many people there's just so much bullshit in today's world. There was something else that you said: vulnerability,
authenticity and trust.
Yeah. And authenticity. And those things build trust, because ultimately you want your audience, when we have to think about it from this perspective. And I say this all the time. In this business, we are privileged to help people with the biggest purchase or sale of their lives in most cases. Do you think trust is important in the agent that they choose? Do you think what's going on in the news and the media in today's world, they have lack of trust for real estate agents? I saw a graphic that showed real estate agents are like 2 steps above used car salesmen in the consumer's mind for trust. And it's because we hear all this advice of fake it till you make it. We have all this clickbait out there in this world that we live in. And I just choose to live in integrity and be authentic and be real and be genuine. And I tell people, I do videos that say, you know what? Now may not be a good time for you to buy or sell. But here's the real news. Here's the reality of what is going on and how it could affect your situation. You want to know more? Let's have a conversation. Because people want real and want authentic. And do you think that doesn't help build trust and authority score in our marketplace? Because how many salespeople will tell you, hey, Jenna, now's not a good time for you to sell. You should probably wait.
Yeah.
Right? But everybody wants that money now, and they want that commission breath, and they want that magic pill for marketing. Give me the magic content calendar. And are there certain things that are consistent? And are there themes that you can develop? And are there processes you can put in place to have consistency in your marketing? Sure. But I think where most people miss the mark is the authenticity. And like you said, the vulnerability, right? Like, just be real with your people. And I think that's where I said, like, in sales, so sales and marketing run very parallel.
Right.
And if you're in this business, you're in sales, but you also have to realize you're a marketer. And so how can you use the sales language and dialogue to market to more people so you can create more sales?
Yeah, and to be honest, I use, like, when we're doing our copywriting for different videos, for different, just whatever we do, I'm looking at scripts and I'm listening to conversations our agents are doing. So we're in alignment with what we're saying to our audience. And we're building off of each other too. So if I do something that happens to be good, then the agents might hear that and use that when they're speaking with a client. When I hear something that the agents do that, oh my gosh, that sounds really awesome, I'm going to take that and put it in my copywriting. So we're speaking the same language.
What did I ask you to do? I don't know, probably 60, 90 days ago.
To start joining the sales meetings.
Why did we have that conversation?
Because sales and marketing are, like you said, they're in alignment. We have to move and we have to speak the same language. And it would be really terrible if the agents and sales department, let's say they're doing, this new thing with, we did worry-free listing as one of our propositions that we have. And let's say they decided to do instant cash offer and marketing didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Like, we have to know and be on the same page so we can speak the same language. And for agents too, I can give them a leg up and help build that trust before they even talk to the client. And I can also get them some dope ass materials for when they're with the client and they have flyers and they have that marketing material that we're speaking the same language.
100%, because I think too many times agents, and myself, I'm guilty of this. I would rely on my skills, and I'm really good at winging things. And I'll figure it out when I get there. I'll figure out what the seller needs when I meet with the seller. But what if you could actually have a little things prepared? And what if you could actually visually storytell of what makes you different? In this marketplace, do you think marketing matters? In this marketplace, do you need to stand out? With everything that's going on in today's landscape of the real estate space, with all these changes coming in July, it is so important that you have your value and you're able to articulate the value. And one of the things that we've been building for years now is how can we show our audience value before they become our clients? And then when they have the conversation with us, they've already been introduced to these value propositions. They've already been introduced to the realities of the market. They've already been introduced to the education that we've been delivering, the information and updates on the marketplace. They've been introduced to the people in our organization because people want to work with people. And by the time that they come in the door, it's a slam dunk for our agents, right? Like, through our email marketing, through our social channels, through our online lead gen, because we have built a brand and built authority and built trust with our audience. And I think so many people miss that mark. Like, marketing isn't, hey, what's the post to get the most leads? Sure, there are ones that work better than others, but I'll tell you what works best over time is you are genuine, you are authentic, you post real content, and you provide things that are actually valuable to people. Like, what is happening in your business today? Because hopefully you're having conversations with consumers. And if you want to get more consumers, break down those conversations and what the ahas had. What were the lessons? What were the common themes you found yourself saying over and over? What were the lessons or the ahas those clients had or didn't have? What do you wish you would have done differently? What ahas did you have? Because you should be dissecting every single phone call. Afterwards, you should watch your game film and be like, shit, I wish I would have done that differently. Well, guess what? Do it differently on a video and you show it to more people. And then what is really, really cool, people overthink this stuff, right? And some people are gifted in writing, some people are gifted in video, some people are scared to death of both, right? The reality is we are trying to get face-to-face with more buyers and sellers every single day. Yeah. That's what you're trying to do in this business. So in the perfect world, these clients will see you, they will hear what you sound like, they will see what you look like, they will meet you face-to-face. So just show them that before they meet you. And then you will attract the right people anyway. And you'll have the clients that are in alignment with your vision, with your values, with who you are authentically yourself. And your business becomes way easier and way more successful.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the ways we did that, we really destructured, like, not just with the content schedule, but also with how we're presenting our team and how we're presenting who we are and what we're really talking about is our branding.
Yes.
Is building a really robust brand.
Well, let me interrupt really quick. There's a huge difference between marketing and branding. And I think branding is a part of marketing. But too many people think that I need to calculate ROI on all my marketing. And the best marketing, again, doesn't look or feel like marketing. And that is called branding. And what is your brand authority score? If you asked your audience, whoever your target avatar is, and you asked them, hey, if you were to sell your home tomorrow, who would you choose? What percentage of those people would say your brand? You cannot measure that, but you also, there's no ROI that's greater in business, right? Think about, like, here's a great example of branding, and love them, hate them, whatever. Let's talk about Starbucks. They sell beans and water. That's what they do.
Burnt beans and water.
Right? But they have built such a brand that there's a line everywhere you go, always. If they're open, there's a line out the door. In addition to that, we just had a newer Starbucks go in a couple years ago, and I had an aha moment when I saw it, because their sign that you can see from the interstate, their big $100,000 sign that they use for advertising, doesn't have any words on it. It has a fucking picture, and everybody knows that picture relates to Starbucks because of the brand they have built. When anyone thinks coffee, what do they think of?
Starbucks. Yeah.
When everyone thinks real estate, what do they think of? You want to be that person.
Yeah.
That's what building a brand does. Now, there is no ROI on it. You can't, well, I need to do this discount code so I can judge the return on investment. There is no return on investment. But I take that back. There is a return on investment. It just, you can't track it. But I promise you, if you just focus on, while you're doing marketing, you're also building a brand alongside of it, the return on investment over the length of your career, there is nothing that will come close to it.
Yeah, and I think about the average time frame it takes to have a lead to convert that lead. I think it's like 15 months or a year and a half.
Depends on
like
what
that.
Study you look at, yeah.
And
12 to 18 months on average.
But there's a whole time frame before they become a lead.
Sure.
That is not always thought about. That I think people are so quick to jump to that lead spot that there's this whole back end of getting them to know you, because you ask the question, if you ask them, who would you work with? Would they say you, but also would they even know you exist? Do they even know who you are? Are you omnipresent enough that that you're even on their radar? And that's something I think branding really gives a leg up for a lot of people. One thing we love to hear is, where did you hear about us? Oh, I've heard you're everywhere,
It's called omnipresence.
Perfect. That's what we want. We want to be so everywhere that you can't even track down the source of where we began.
You detail-oriented people, and I love you, and I'm glad that the world has you, but you drive me crazy. I'll call you bean counters that are like, well, I have to measure everything. You can't measure this. You just can't. But I would invite you to go through the mind space of, if you are building a brand and a presence in your marketplace, that when you ask people, well, how'd you hear about us? And they say, I don't know, I just see you everywhere. There is no ROI better than that in business. And let me just give this real perspective. Like, this is proof of concept. Anything that we talk about isn't theory. This is proven. And Jenna's going to dive into the numbers of what this has done. We're going to go into email marketing, video content, everything that we've done. We'll get tactical here in a minute. But I think it's super important you understand, like, our real estate business, 2 years ago, we sold 776 houses, I believe. The year before that was 738. Or the year after that was 738. And then last year was 680 something. With just the market adjustments, et cetera. But one thing that didn't change is over 300 clients each of those years that we sold houses to or sold houses for reached out to us. They were our sphere of influence. They were our past clients. They came into us by calling our office and saying, I've heard good things. I want to work with you. Almost half of our sales. Well, Matt, you can't track the ROI. Give me one that's better. I don't have to pay $800 per lead to Zillow or whatever the hell, like, for those. No, don't get me wrong. We have those arms of our business because we're always growing. But, like, I just think so many people discount the importance of I used to sell radio, and I remember everyone said, how do you sell radio? How do you, like, billboards work? I want to use billboards versus radio. I want to use this versus that. And a lot of the objections I got when I was introduced to that sales job was, well, we just work on word of mouth. And my pivot to that was, what if you could use word of mouth to 150,000 people through radio, right? Now, what if you can do that and you can spread positive word of mouth through your marketing that you do each and every day? Because every business is built on word of mouth. Not just yours, every successful business is built on word of mouth. Everyone knows a guy or a girl. Everyone looks for referrals. Everyone asks their friends, who should I use? And so how do you own the conversation when you're not there?
Yeah.
And that's where marketing takes a whole nother level. And that's what we really, really focus on. I think important part of that we've gotten wrong before, that we are adjusting course and getting way, way better at, is letting our avatar, our clients, our community see us as people. Mm-hmm. We're not just houses, not just listings, but who are we as people?
Yeah.
And behind the scenes of our team events that we do, we'll do like just random pictures of people having a call night, and we'll just share that, hey, we're proud of these agents. We'll do videos of them at events and their families, and just show them who they are as people. Because at the end of the day, I can talk about building a brand, and there's a reason that my face isn't on any of our branding here locally, is because I think the brand's bigger than me. And I think it represents something way more than one person. And what I love about that, though, is that we also are able to show the people behind the brand. And whenever you do that, everybody wins.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something, the beginning of this year, we made a lot of different strategies with our marketing and changed up a few things. And one of the things that we did in alignment with what you're speaking about, we kicked out most of our headshots for our agents. Like, we love them. They're great. You know, they're useful for some things, but it doesn't always showcase who your agent actually is. And so we would create, and it was also on a really rigid schedule too. So like every Friday we would do a team shout out, and it would be with the same template, with the same a headshot of the agent. And it just felt so stiff, And so what we really started doing is kicking out those headshots, taking more photos of our team in office, more videos of our team having fun, of agents doing different things, but also utilizing their own content, taking pictures that they have that they're proud of, and using that in our marketing. So it really gets people, it breaks it down. It showcases that vulnerability of, we're real people here. We're not this headshot's great and it's pretty and it's useful for a lot of things, but we're not this structured, well manicured, person. We're real people with real feelings, and we are really passionate about what we do.
I love it. And one of the things that I was thinking earlier when I was on my last rant was that imagine being an agent looking for a team or a brokerage or a company to go work for. We talk about branding for the buyers and sellers, but we're all in the agent attraction business too. And do you want to be partnered with a brand that showcases their people, that is real, that is authentic, that's providing value to the marketplace? Let's dive into, say you're an agent that just does sphere of influence business. If you come in our organization and all you do is sphere of influence, by being in association with our systems, our process, our brand, who we are and what we represent, you will increase your sphere of influence business by at least 50%. Just by association. I feel very confident saying that. Now, do we have lead generation? Do we have coaching? Absolutely. We have all of it, right? But I think that too many people discount that. The power of, yes, people are working with Jenna, right? They love Jenna. They want to work with Jenna. But they also know who Jenna's associated with. And they also know that the brand that Jenna is with is giving to the community or taking from the community. They know the brand that Jenna is with is giving them value, or they're not. They also know the brand that Jenna is with is hosting client events, or they're not. And let's talk about emails for a minute, right? Like, too many people sleep on emails. Our past client emails have seen significant increases because we focused on it. We have 55,000 people in our database as of this morning. And our email open rates are what, 40%?
40%, if not higher, yeah.
Think about that for a minute. Right? How many, and it's not like we send one email a month.
No, we sent 8 emails last week. That's more than an email a day.
At 40% open rate.
Yeah.
Because we're meeting our audience where they are. We're providing value. Now imagine being an agent that works for that team. Is that going to help you sell more real estate? They're engaging with the content that you're sending. They're saying, oh, this is good. Send me more. A lot of that content is educational, informational. It's community-based. We are just connecting them to the things they want to be connected to.
Yeah, it reminds me, we did a video testimonial, this great guy in our community, and he was talking about, he grew up with some of our agents and worked with them. He sold 3 properties with us now. And one of the things he talked about was, I already had a pre-existing relationship with, Ryan and Eric and Kristen. I already had that, But what blew me away and what set you apart was that when we got in that meeting, they still went through the buyer's presentation. They still like treated me like a client. They gave me the best service ever. And it just took it that extra step because of the things that we offer, the value that we bring. Like that does a lot for your sphere of influence, the trust you're building in the community.
I remember that conversation, and we were both blown away. Like it was just amazing to just witness that someone had that experience with us. It's really cool. But I remember him talking about like the people behind the scenes. He gave credit to marketing, right? He gave credit to our photographers. He gave credit to our listing coordinators. He gave credit to our transaction coordinators. And he's like just everyone that was behind the scenes. And he mentioned some of them by name, right? Yeah. Like, when's the last time a client gave a shout out on a video testimonial to one of your operations member by name? Right? Like that's valuable. That's tremendously valuable to the clients, the community, also to the agents.
Yeah.
All right. Off of this high horse of I don't even know what we're talking about, but
let's do video testimonials.
Yes, for sure. Let's shift gears, Jenna. Where do you want to take this?
Let's dive deep into, let's talk about email marketing. We've talked about it a little bit, and I think we've talked a lot about content. And you had mentioned, people sleep on that email marketing. I think if I could guess, and people probably heard that we did 8 emails last week and felt like, holy crap, that's way too many emails.
And how many people listening to this, like if I could have them in an audience and raise their hand and be honest, how many of them thinks, well, those are just automations or drip plans? Nope.
No.
We don't. It's my podcast. We don't fuck around with automations and drip plans. We just don't. They just don't work. They're inauthentic. People know they're a drip. You can customize them all you want. You can say, well, AI wrote it. They freaking know it, right? Be authentic, be real, be genuine, be in the moment, right? And now, do we have certain drip plans that are in the background that are, if they're in a follow-up stage, we'll send an email? Sure, but they're very few and far between, right? They're just more of a, hey, we just want to make sure that we didn't lose touch, right? But we also don't let that handcuff us from doing in-the-moment content.
Yeah. The big thing is, when it comes to your email marketing, John Cheplack says this all the time, email what you're posting, email what you're posting on your social media. We even overthought this significantly. And I remember coming back, we went to his Maverick conference in Nashville, came back, and we had done a testimonial, or not a testimonial, sorry. We did a shout out of another agent on the All or Nothing in Real Estate brand, and you would come in like, let's email that. And we're like, yeah, why haven't we emailed that? Like, that's something we post. Let's do it. It's value, it brings it, and it extra shout outs this person. So really think about what you're posting, and then just email that out. And the more you do it, the more you can start looking at your audience, and really it gets in the weeds, but you can start building those segments and start really honing your message to the right people. And it gets better and better over time. Yeah.
I mean, just think about this for a second, right? Our database of 55,000 people, let's just say 25% open rate, which would be what? My math's not working. Like 13,000, 14,000 people.
Sure.
So let's say it's 20,000 people is conservative. So let's say 20,000 people each email open it. We sent 8 of them. That's 160,000 impressions in a week.
Yeah.
From free email that people say, oh, email doesn't work. Let's talk about brand. Let's talk about the average number of contact attempts it takes before someone makes a buying or selling decision. I didn't say phone call attempts. I said contact attempts. They see our brand each and every time. Some of those emails, we embed a video that we did of a market update or of this thing or of that thing. And there's a lot of nuances to that to make sure that you're working. So don't listen to this. And if you're an action taker, I love you, but don't do what I did and go and upload all 55,000 people and send them all an email tomorrow. And I'm going to send them 8 emails this week. You'll get on the spam list quick, and they'll probably shut you down. So you have to build it slowly. You have to build it strategically. You have to top grade your audience is what I call it, meaning that who are the people that are engaging? We're going to send them more. We're going to get a higher score, and then we're going to send more. Then we're going to add more people to that list next week, and we're going to build it slowly and strategically. And then once you do that and you build it, it's the best marketing machine that you can have.
I mean, you kind of think about it like, when you are in a neighborhood or something, you're not going to just start off with every single neighborhood in Chicago. You're going to start off with one neighborhood, really work that neighborhood, and then go into another neighborhood and then master that one and slowly build and spread. It's the same thing with email marketing. Imagine it like a neighborhood. You're going to start with one group of people. you're going to nurture them, and then you're going to put out another piece of content to see if you can stimulate some more people. You're going to bring them in, and you're just going to keep growing that neighborhood.
Yeah. And this is something, a pro tip for them. And as a reminder to Jenna is, I think that we have a massive success if after 24, 48 hours, we resend to non-openers, which a lot of mail providers have. It's like we get an extra 15%, right? Open rates a lot, right? Like, and that's a big difference. That moves the needle a lot, and we're not spamming the people that have already opened it.
Yeah.
Right. And so just little hacks like that will really help along the way. But you need to be emailing stuff, and it doesn't have to be the perfect. I'll be honest with you. Just like the best ad doesn't look like like an ad, the best email doesn't look like a newsletter.
Yeah.
Don't fall for all this hype. This is I'm in the trenches doing this, and Jenna, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't over template, don't over graphic any of your emails. Short, sweet, to the point, and value. Don't waste valuable real estate. Here's a pro tip. Here's how people read email. Top, bottom, middle. Subject line has to be a hook, has to be engaging or informational, so they'll want to click it first and foremost. Second is don't waste, hey, Jenna, how are you today? You lost them.
Yeah.
Right? Like they already know who you are because they saw the email. You already hooked them with the subject line straight to the value on line number one. And then make sure you have something at the end that is of value, of substance. It can be a lot of ours are like we're really pushing home value links, right? Instant cash offer, get your home value here. And we get a lot of clicks from that, right?
Yeah.
I think we had 1.6% clicks on our last. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 1.6% of 55,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people clicking on our home value, right?
Well, and to put that into perspective, there was one email I remember we sent that it was, I don't even remember what it was, but we had 78 clicks on that home offer. That's just one of the links that they clicked. Like there was other spots that they clicked as well. If you have MailChimp, you can look at a map. It's really cool to see where they're engaging at, so you can use that to better structure your emails. We got 78 clicks on that home value link, and that's 78 people who took action on something.
What would you do with a business right now if you had 78 seller leads that came overnight that request a home value? How would that impact your business? We don't get that without this email marketing, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, so all this stuff together. So this is really, really good. Anything else on email?
I would, if there's a piece of advice I would give, this is something that we did and it's really helped us. And we've also changed some things with MailChimp, but start a spreadsheet or something to keep track of all of your subject lines and all of your open rates attached to those subject lines, so you can start to see what's working and what's not working. There's a lot of different, marketing and branding is really a lot of educated trial and error. It's you're trying something, you see, okay, this didn't hit the way I wanted it to. Let's tweak it a little bit here, and just kind of messing with that. But you can't do that if you don't keep record of it. And that was really beneficial to us. I remember you and I going through it and being like, well, no wonder this got a low open rate. This makes no sense. Why did we make this our subject?
Terrible subject line.
Yes,
no wonder
who
no one
came up
opened
with
it.
that? This girl. But we've been able to change that and get it to a place where now we're seeing, okay, now we're in a rhythm and we have a strategy, but you can't develop a strategy if you don't have a foundation.
And so we talked a lot about email, but I just want to go back. Let's go 30,000 foot view of just marketing in general. Email should be one of your facets of marketing, right? If you're not doing it, start doing it. And if you don't know what to send, what is the valuable content? So let's oversimplify this. At a minimum, send one valuable piece of content to your audience a week on social, via email, however else you can distribute it. You have one per week, right? Here's a simple framework. Do a market update once a week. Do an educational piece of content for buyers or sellers. Hey, top 3 reasons why you should buy right now. Why interest rates aren't as bad as you think. Whatever is educational that you're having conversations with people around. And I recommend doing more than one a week, by the way, but at a minimum. Then also do like what's happening in your community, right? What's happening next month in our community? What is going on? What are the things I should know about? And when you become the community resource, you're way more than just a real estate company. And now again, trust, authority, all of that. And then also, what if you were to highlight a local business once a month? You go to a local business, you do a spotlight, you can just bring an iPhone, right? It doesn't have to, cameras on phones are so sophisticated now. You can update it. You can edit it in an app that you can download for free. Like there's no excuse to be doing video in this marketplace. There just isn't. But so what is really cool about the business highlight is not only is that attach you to that business owner in your community, but also when you distribute it and create a media package and you send it to them, now they share it with their audience that has your branding on it. And so you are helping them grow their business and giving back to your community, which also in turn grows your business, your brand authority, etc.
Yeah, they absolutely love it. When we do media packages for all of those community spotlights. We've gotten nothing but positive feedback. It's really cool to see them repurpose it too.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really valuable.
100%. And so I don't want to hit on video really quick. Number one, video's king, right? Like, I don't know the percentages, but it would blow your mind what percentage of media consumed is video, right? Like any ads that work, like that's just what works. You have to do video. And if you're scared to do video, I have bad news for you. People already know what you look like. They already know what you sound like. Get over yourself, remove your ego, and realize you're doing this to help people the biggest purchase and sale of their lives. So get out of your own way, get out of your comfort zone, and do this to help more people. All right, now that that's being said, you don't have to have fancy equipment. You don't have to have fancy editing software. You don't have to have a fancy camera. Just grab your phone, turn it on selfie mode, look at it, and talk to it. Yeah. That's it. I'll be honest with you. We have fancy equipment. You know what some of our best performing videos are? Matt just pulls out in the heat of the moment, does a selfie video, doesn't even send it to our editor, adds captions on Instagram and post it, and sometimes it goes crazy.
Yeah.
Because people want real, they want authentic, they want genuine, they want that stuff. And so you have to give that to them. And so just don't overthink it is my whole point, is just keep it simple. And I'm a king of repurposing. If you're a busy agent and you don't have a lot of time, guess what? That one video that you shot per week of those tips, those 4 frameworks I just gave you. Let's create copyright around it and let's make a post on social media. What if we could take that exact thing and create a graphic for it? What if we could take that same thing, we could put it in an email and we could embed the video in the email, right? Like that one piece of content now is distributed across multiple channels in multiple ways, and that is your content.
Yeah.
That will keep you busy. Instead of trying to do more content, make more of what you have. Do good content, and then how can I repurpose and redistribute this content in different ways so that more of my audience can see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is like, it's so simple. And I think that marketing, because it is so complex, and I think it immediately, for people who don't have that marketing brain, it sends them into overdrive immediately, because it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. But if there's one moral to this entire podcast, it's less is more. Keep it simple. Be authentic. Just be yourself. Like, that's what will resonate with your audience.
Yep. And I think too, let's be honest, most people listening to this are real estate agents. So you're probably not overly list focused and overly, hey, I have to be organized like Jenna is. So maybe you don't have the same struggles as her. But let's realize that you don't have to be. What she shared with you is, for our marketing to improve, she had to be less organized, less list focused. And so there's hope for you too. Just make sure it's a priority every day. Wake up every single day and say, well, how am I going to provide value to my audience? What is valuable to my audience today? And just provide them value. It's really that simple.
And sometimes, and that value, like I said, don't overcomplicate it. I mean, we even had, there's a street in this town, Rolla, that we're close to, that they're renovating or ripping apart. People are really pissed off about it.
Let me preface this really quick. One of the things that we've been focusing on that has really helped our engagement, which I want you to share those numbers if you know them, that's helped our engagement on social, helped our email, helped our branding and our marketing and our authority score in our marketplaces, that we've just been being very intentional with community-based content. What new business is coming to the area? What is going on in the storms, right? We went straight to, how can we tell everybody where's the resources to go to? How can we help you? Here's what's happened in case you don't live here. Can we go check your home for you, right? We went straight and pivoted to how can we be of value to the community? And then that theme led to this post that went just ballistic. So share.
So like I said, there's this place in Rolla. We've got Missouri S&T. They ripped out this street. It's Highway 63. if you're from Rolla and you're listening to this, you're pissed off about it.
Missouri S&T is a big college.
Yes, everyone's angry about it. And our marketing coordinator, Tyler, was out in Rolla and was like, I'm just going to take out the drone, take some pictures, and let's post them. And we did. And that thing had crazy reach. I want to say it's right now, it's still growing. It was at 35,000 reach people. Organically reached. And then the engagement on it was in probably the 15 to 20,000s. I don't remember that one off the top of my head, but it was a really well performing post. And all it was just a simple update. Tyler sent me the photos. I did some research because I didn't realize that this road was ripped out and people were pissed off about it, and made a little post about it. And that thing went crazy. We didn't even have to nurture it that much because our audience nurtured it for us.
But that goes back to, I believe in like themes and everything and principles. And if you just realize marketing is message to market match, we entered the conversation going on in the community's head. And the engagement went through the roof.
Yeah.
Now, that's a community-based thing, right? So you won't always have those. But if we take that principle and we break it down to, what does a buyer need to know in today's world? What does a seller need to know in today's world? What does an agent need for value in today's world? And we just really think about those things each and every day and just brain dump and write those things out. Grab your phone and just shoot a quick video. That is where you can increase your marketing tenfold. Yeah. I think it's just, we overcomplicate it. We want the perfect post. We want the perfect content calendar, and it just does not exist. And I will tell you, even if you find the perfect content calendar, the more that you do it, the more your audience gets used to it. And guess what? It starts dulling the message. And they start seeing it over and over again, and they're like, that's not relevant anymore. And you want to make sure that your relevancy score continues to climb. The value you are providing. I've said value a lot. I think it's so important that people understand what I mean by value. It's not what's valuable to you. It's what's valuable to them. Enter the conversation going on in their head. Like, valuable to me would be, how do I sell more real estate, right? But what is valuable to a seller in today's world? Hey, is now a good time to sell? If I were to sell, how would it impact my decision? Are there a lot of buyers looking right now? What's the inventory levels? What are average sales price doing? What about the interest rates? Man, I don't want to get my home ready to show, right? Like, all of these things sellers are thinking right now. And guess when the sellers are thinking that? Way before they become a fucking lead in your system.
Yeah.
They know they're going to sell way before they come in your database, most of the time. And so what if you could answer those questions before they have to reach out to you? Yeah. If you are the one entering the conversation going on in their mind, you are going to be the logical first choice when they're ready to sell their home. That's what marketing is. That's how you grow a marketing brand. That's how you grow a marketing business.
Yeah. I mean, the more simple, I think one other mistake a lot of people make is we talk really above our audience, and we go way too in the weeds with stuff. I mean, I'm guilty of doing that probably in this podcast, but we go way too in the weeds with things, and we have to remember, real estate something, if you're an agent, if you're listening to this, like, you're in this every single day. A lot of the things that feel like second nature to you, your clients have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Like, dumb it down and break down. Listen to the dumb questions that people ask that you might feel is a dumb question. My guess would be, if that person's asking it, there's probably a slew of other people who are asking that same thing.
100%. And I got this from John Cheplack, because I struggle with that. I don't like repeating myself. It's just a flaw of mine. I just don't like it. And he said, you have to be a chief repeating officer. And I think that it goes for leadership, but that also goes for our buyers and sellers. The same people have same situations, same concerns, same struggles. And so what he said to me was that your average is excellence to others. And that goes for everyone. That's not saying that I'm better than anyone. That's just saying that we all have a gift. We all see things from a different lens. And so what you think is normal, or you've said it 100 times, there may be someone that they're hearing it for the first. And so just keep sharing that valuable stuff with people, and it will resonate with the right people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Jenna, how do you want to close this out?
Thanks for having me.
That's perfect. Nailed it. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope this was valuable. This is something that I'm really, really passionate about, and Jenna is as well. And so if there's anything that we can help you marketing related, we just want to be a resource. Reach out to us. We're happy to help, happy to answer your questions. We're happy to do everything except for do the work for you. There is work required on your end, but we will give you the playbook. We will help you build whatever you want to build. And so it's really, really cool. Just to give you some substance on where this has come from is like our engagement on social media has increased how much in the last 90 days, 30 days?
90% in the last 90 days.
90% increase. And we were already number one in our marketplace for engagement by far. It's increased by 90% in the last 30 days. By following this framework and really the only thing that changed was Jenna went to the Maverick event and she really, that light bulb finally went off for her of like, okay, I got to throw the content calendar out the window. I got to be in real time. And I've saw so many subtle changes of that, and our audience is engaging like crazy. Because by the way, we didn't spend our way there. What has our ad budget changed at all?
No,
not at all.
Anything we're decreasing.
Yeah, because we don't have to, because we're
our
doing it
organic's
organically.
doing well.
Yeah, and so all of that to say, like, our email marketing is through the roof. Everything is working really, really well. In addition to, like, Jenna's really, really helped with the details and list process of the 3 recruiting funnels that we're selling to agents right now. John Cheplack and I are partnered in that. And so if you're interested in figuring out how, I don't know, Matt, this marketing thing sounds great for buyers and sellers, but I also need to recruit agents. I have the plug and play built for you recruiting funnels that I'm happy to have that conversation with you. You can check it out at 3recruitingfunnelsbuilt.com. We'll link it in the notes too. Again, 3recruitingfunnelsbuilt.com. We actually adjusted it because I like to over deliver. It's 4 funnels now. So you have 4 funnels built for you it's literally the marketing playbook for how to get recruits.
Yeah.
And so if that's interesting to you, check that out. But I hope you guys found value from this episode. We love sharing stuff on marketing and helping agents grow. And I know for a fact, if you apply this stuff, you will grow your business. So Jenna, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Guys, we'll catch you next time.